I grew up as an inner city kid in downtown D.C. I grew up in a tough neighborhood. I was valedictorian of my high school class. I took the exam for the Naval Academy. Of the 24, 25 guys ahead of me, I was the only one that passed the exams. And later on, the Navy sent me to flight training. And when I first went to the academy and I got it, I was always interested in aviation. The Navy sent me to postgraduate school. They sent me to Stanford University, and then they put me back in the cockpit. Thought going back to the fleet and back to a cockpit was the right thing to do. And turns out it probably was the right thing to do. Well, I started out flying the Douglas Sky Raider. I think I've got about 2,500 hours in that machine, probably about 1,000 hours in the one behind me, and plus a number of hours on a lot of other machines. I assumed command of USS Midway, I believe it was the 25th of March, 1975, and we got underway on the 31st of March, and we did a few things en route, and we eventually wound up going off the southern tip of Vietnam, and we eventually became part of Operation Frequent Wind. On the 29th of April, 1975, we received orders to commence the evacuation of Operation Frequent Wind. And remember, the North Vietnamese who were just right outside of Saigon at the time. They were attacking Tan Son Nhut airport. Bad things were happening. Pretty soon, everybody's pretty full of helicopters. So we cleared a couple of spots on our bow and brought those guys in. My deck was totally clobbered. Now I'm not operating any fixed wing at all. Around noon on the 30th, this little airplane shows up and starts circling the ship. And we put glasses on him. We could see the pilot. We could see that there was somebody sitting behind the pilot, looked like they were holding a child. But we knew that there were at least 4 souls on board the airplane. The admiral at the time was telling me to tell the airplane to ditch it and that we would rescue them if they ditch. Well, you don't have to be a genius to look, and if somebody's holding one in arms and if he ditches it, that one's gone. The pilot's probably going to die because he's trying to save his family, and he's not going to give up. I called the air boss and said, okay, let's make a ready deck. We're going to give him a shot at it. Just as we turned into the wind, 8 more Hueys from Saigon came out, plopped right on that without signal. We managed to get the deck clear, and when those 8 guys landed, the air boss wanted to know what was it going to do now, and I'm sitting there saying, what the hell have you been doing? Push those over the side too, so they did. So I know at least 8 airplanes went over the side because I counted those 8, but I probably pushed $100 million worth of equipment over the side because I knew that I was in trouble. The admiral had already told me not to do it. And so I'm preparing myself for my court martial. No matter what I do, none of the decisions are good. So all I did was said, okay, I gave him a chance. He probably had planned to crash it on board if we didn't give him a chance. What we didn't know was the kid had 10,000 hours of flight time in that airplane. He was as good as anybody was ever going to be in that airplane. So we got him captured, and they brought him up to the bridge, and the only thing I could think of, I took off my wings and made him an honorary naval aviator right on the spot. When you're in a crisis, you do the best you can. You make the best decision you can, and then you have to live with the results. Somewhere along the line, there's a guardian angel up there somewhere that says, okay, it's not your turn today. And that's how I feel about it. But that was my feeling with aviation in general. It wasn't my turn today.